So to go ahead and start, I hope everyone can see the screen. Again, I've already introduced myself. What I'm going to do is start off with the rules, guidelines, the conflicts of interest, Wikipedia's 5 pillars, how to write and submit an article, and then I'll talk a little bit about references. Now, in order to see this slideshow, you can watch on your screen, but if you want to actually download it to look at for future reference, you can just go to the link there at the bottom of the screen, which is bnbwebsites.com/Wikipedia. And there is a link right on the top of that page to download the PowerPoint slideshow. All right, first and foremost, I want to make sure that everybody is familiar with Wikipedia's rules, their guidelines and conflict of interests. Wikipedia can be very peculiar in that they can ban you, they can block your IP address, they can do several things if they don't feel that you are playing by their rules. So we're kind of on a gray line here with trying to get your business or in on Wikipedia. It's always recommended to, well, let me say that Wikipedia doesn't like self-promotion, and I will talk a little bit more about that. And so, again, here's the link to their rules and guidelines, as well as to the conflict of interest. And this is a small snippet out of the guidelines that I do want to highlight. One of them is self-promotion. Basically states that it's tempting to write about yourself or projects in which you have a strong personal involvement. However, do remember that the standards for an encyclopedia article apply to such pages just like any others. Basically, they're pointing out that you need to have a neutral point of view. A neutral point of view is, let me go back to that. Excuse me. A neutral point of view is one where you basically state facts. You make it, you want to take out all of the sales pitches. Anything that sounds sales pitchy at all, you can find the article deleted. And they do like to delete articles. You could have an article in there for 7 or 8 months, and then you can have one specific admin go in there and look at it, and if they feel it's any form of advertising or self-promotion, they will delete it. They can even go to the extent of banning your username and your IP address. So, advertising, again, they don't like any forms of advertising. So our goal is to make it come across with no advertising, no self-promotion. And you're probably asking yourself, well, then why do I want to be on Wikipedia? The biggest reason to get onto Wikipedia is for links to your website or to your business or wherever. Links to your site, especially from a very strong page like Wikipedia, will help your search engine optimization rankings. And I'll call that SEO from here on out. So in order to improve your SEO is why we want to use Wikipedia. All right. So what they can say is if you do write your own article, that you have a chance of coming across a conflict of interest. The biggest thing I want to take out of this is kind of in bold here. It says here there are no firm criteria to determine whether a conflict of interest exists, but there are warning signs, and those signs are adding materials that appear to promote the interests or visibility of an article's author, its author's family members, employer, associates, or their business or personal interests. Place the author in a conflict of interest. Basically, just as I said before, we want to make sure that we have nothing that's sales pitchy at all, and try not to promote anything at all. So here are some examples of conflicts of interest: citing yourself, financial purposes, legal reasons, autobiographies, self-promotion. I have the asterisk because that's kind of what we're leaning towards. Promotional articles, campaigning, close relationships. The question comes to how do we How do we avoid these conflicts? Wikipedia suggests that when editing the articles related to you or your organization or competitors, as well as projects and products they're involved with, these are conflicts of interest, excuse me. So editing articles related to you are conflicts of interest. Participating in deletion discussions about articles related to your organization, and linking. What people have done is they've created 3 or 4 or 5 different Wikipedia articles and linked to each other to help build their SEO and avoid breaching relevant policies and guidelines. And here are links to neutral points of view, verifiability, and autobiography, if you want to look at those. Now, these links can, when you download the slideshow, you'll be able to go in here and click on those links and go to Wikipedia's pages to review that a little more. One more topic I want to bring up is copyright infringement. We actually had a problem with this not too long ago. We had a bed and breakfast send us their history page that was on their website, and we were going to modify it and help submit it to Wikipedia for them. Well, what happened too was this same person submitted it to their history page on their TripAdvisor, and because of that, when we submitted it, almost within minutes it came back and said, this article is subject to speedy deletion because of copyright infringement. And when the more we looked at it, the more we did realize that it was on TripAdvisor. So what I recommend doing is, if you do have history pages on TripAdvisor or on Destination Nexus or any of those other sites, make sure you change it enough that it doesn't sound like the same thing, so we come across copyright infringement problems. 5 pillars. These are from Wikipedia, and these are pretty much the principles by which they go by. And I'll skim through these real quick, and I will hit on 1 or 2 that I feel are a little more important. Number 1 basically says that they're just an online encyclopedia, incorporates elements of general and specialized encyclopedias, almanacs, and gazetteers. It's not a soapbox advertising platform, vanity press. One thing I do highly recommend doing is checking out Wikimedia sister projects. One thing I do like about Wikimedia is it has tens of thousands of free photos that you can use for your websites. For example, I was searching for tulips the other day, and I came across thousands of them that we can actually use for free, so we don't have to actually purchase them or, and again, copyright infringement. So it is okay to actually use those photos from Wikimedia. So I do suggest checking that out. Number 2, this is kind of a bigger one. Wikipedia has a neutral point of view. We strive for articles that advocate no single point of view. Sometimes this requires representing multiple points of view, presenting each point of view accurately and in context, and not presenting any point of view as the truth or the best view. All articles must strive for verifiable accuracy. Unreferenced material may be removed, so please provide references. I want to stress the references. If you place an article out there and you do not have verifiable references, you will get deleted. Number 3, this is free content, meaning once you paste it, once you put it up there and have it published, it is the world's to use as any way they want. Anyone can edit it, and they don't want you to copyright or plagiarize any of the sources, as we mentioned earlier. And it is now freely licensed to the public, and anyone can edit it, like I mentioned. Let's see. This one's kind of a common sense one, that people should interact respectfully and in a civil manner. I'll just leave it at that. And this next one I do like. Wikipedia does not have firm rules. Rules on Wikipedia are not fixed in stone, and the spirit of the rule trumps the letter of the rule. Be bold in updating articles, and do not worry about making mistakes. Your efforts do not need to be perfect. Prior versions are saved. I do want to stress here, though, that some of the admins at Wikipedia are peculiar, to say the least. These people work for free. They do it in their off time. They are not employees of Wikipedia. And there are thousands of these admins out there who will who can delete your articles on a whim if they feel you're not playing with these rules. So be careful with that, with the rules. Try to stay within the rules at all times. All right, let's move on. What to write about? Well, we obviously want to write about our bed and breakfast or inn, but we specifically want to write about the history of the building or the area that it's in. If we can specifically write about the history, then Wikipedia will more than likely keep your article and not delete it. So what I highly recommend doing, I'll get into this a little bit more, but keep in mind we want a history. Some of these older buildings that bed and breakfast and inns are in have amazing history behind them. But again, we want to make sure that we have verifiable proof. So if they're part of the city's National Historic Society, or you can have some sort of chain of title, anything like that we can verify and we can actually put in there as references, then you have a better chance of actually getting it stuck on Wikipedia. Again, yeah, back up our articles with facts and references. Again, I want to state that we have to be neutral in the article. Let me show you an example of an article on an inn that's extremely neutral and that is on Wikipedia. All right. The Old Wailuku Inn at Ulupuno. What we do is on this, we don't come in and say that this is a bed and breakfast right away. Excuse me. We actually just jump right into the history of the Lufkin House. It was originally built on this date. We go through some of the history, and we can have verifiable references on there. Now, some of these references, you'll see like a number 1 by the 1942. If you click on that, it'll come down and highlight the Old Wailuku Inn at Ulupono. If we click on this, this actually links to their website. We'll go back to this article, and it also talks about some of the other people that have been there. And again, these link to other websites that can prove what we're talking about. If we go back up a little bit, and we'll see some of these here that are just highlighted in blue. What these are actually links to other Wikipedia articles. And you can have just a couple of outside links and quite a few internal Wikipedia links, and that will work. So as a reference, I highly recommend using this one. You can come here at any time to look at this. Again, it's the Old Wailuku Inn at Ulupuno. I apologize, I'm reading through a few of these questions here. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. The first thing we want to talk about is how to set up your Wikipedia account. Basically what you'll do is you'll go into Wikipedia. On the top right hand side there will be a login create account button. Click on that to get going on your account. I highly recommend using a generic email address and a generic username. If you use one that relates to your business and then write an article about your business, they may come across feeling like you are trying to promote your website, when really what we're trying to do is write about the historical value of your building and or the surrounding area. I hope everyone can see these screenshots in Wikipedia, but the first thing we want to do after you're signed in is go up to the top right hand corner and actually search on what you want to write about to verify that it hasn't already been written about. So you put the name of it up in the top right hand corner, click on the search button, and what will happen, if it has already been written, it'll come up here in blue. But if it has not, it'll say you may create the page, Jamul Haven, but consider checking the search results to see if whether it's already been covered. So I do recommend looking through the list here, because it's very possible you can just edit one of these articles instead of creating a new one. Once you click on the red button to create an article, it'll come up with this context page, and where you can actually paste in your article. I highly recommend writing your article before you come into Wikipedia, making sure everything is correct and proper. Once it's pasted in, you can make your format changes. Any edits or changes that you want, you can go ahead and make. I do want to stress here on this next slide that before you save it, you need to choose Show Preview so you can actually see what it will look like once it's published. If you click on the Save page, it will actually publish it right then and there. And if you're not finished with your article, you could be flagged for speedy deletion if you don't have all your facts and your references set up and finished. So you can look at it as often as you want to see what it really looks like, but definitely make sure you click on Show Preview until you are ready to save it. I'll talk a little bit about formatting. The formatting here, the first thing you want to do to add a link, you can highlight the word that you want to link to, and then click on the link icon. It'll bring up this page, the Insert Link page, and Jamul, California. This is actually a city, and there is an internal link already on that. And so what we want to do is make sure to a wiki page. That way it will be, a link to an internal wiki page. And then you click on Insert Link. But before you do that, any of this, I highly recommend searching in Wikipedia to verify that that link actually exists and it is the link that you want, because there are quite a few topics that it could mean many different things. After you save the link, it'll actually look like this. It'll be highlighted in blue, as we've seen on the other example I showed, and that will be an internal link. The next thing I want to talk about is ref tags. Reference tags allow it so it'll actually put a number to the right-hand side of whatever you want the reference to be. For example, Jamul Haven, which is the inn, we want that to be referenced at the bottom so they can click on that and go to this website, which is their homepage website. And we also want it to say Jamul Haven. And so we put it in brackets, the website, space, and then the name that we want it to show, which is Jamul Haven, and then another bracket, and then the ref tag. After it's done, you'll see that it has the number 1 next to the word, like I mentioned, and then at the bottom it'll show the reference. Now, one thing I failed to mention, you can't just go in and put these ref tags in the brackets on each side of the bracket and have it work. It'll actually throw an error. At the very bottom of the article, you're going to want to put ref list with these double squiggly brackets on each side. And that will tell Wikipedia that this is where you put the reference list. So it'll search for the ref tags and it will put the list at the bottom. So it's very simple. You just put the ref list on the bottom and that's it. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is headings. As we can see, we obviously need headings. The name of the inn will be a good heading. The next one on this one would be architecture, and then the subheading would be the exterior. And so what you want to do is on each side of the word put double equal signs for the main heading and then triple equal signs for the subheadings. And then they look like this when they're done. The main headings will actually have a line underneath them and the subheadings won't. And once we're happy with the way everything looks, go ahead and click on Save Page, and that will automatically publish it. Now, it could take anywhere from an hour or two for a Wikipedia admin to look at it, up to months before they look at it. And so check back often, because you could be there one day and then the next day it's up for speedy deletion and then deleted. But I recommend, if it does get deleted, try again. Log back in and try to write another article. And again, I want to stress that you want it as neutral as possible, and you want to use as many facts that you can, and you want references to back up those facts. One more thing you can use, it's their article wizard. Basically, it'll ask you a few questions, and then it will bring you to the editing page that I showed you. I personally think that it's a little easier to do what we just showed you, but by all means, go into Wikipedia and play around with the article wizard. So here are some of the best methods to get it published. First and foremost, be familiar with their rules. And again, realize too that their rules are not set in stone. And so go ahead and write an article. And this runs for any article on any topic. Make the article matter of fact. Never use self-promotion. Make sure it's a neutral point of view. Have history of the building, and make sure it's edited properly with references. There was a question that someone couldn't find the PowerPoint presentation. Where you want to go is, here, I'll bring that up. It is right there. If you go to bnbwebsites.com/Wikipedia, I brought it up here. Right here on the top of this article, get the Wikipedia PowerPoint from the webinar. Go ahead and click on that button, and it will prompt you to download it. Let me go ahead and skim through some of these questions. I do have a question here that says, does the documentation about the history on our buildings have to come from another site, or can it be our own site as long as we have appropriate documentation? It can be from your own site. But again, I want to make sure you have the appropriate documentation. And a lot of times you can find some of the things that are in your own history on Wikipedia as well, on internal links that you can also reference. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, you should be able to do that, depending on how well it is written. All right, it says here, another question. We have a history page on our site already. If we use this option on Wikipedia, will we be flagged for plagiarizing our own text? Very unlikely. I think Wikipedia searches the biggest hit sites out there like TripAdvisor, places like that. If, for example, it does get flagged for copyright issues, there is a way to fight it. You can actually reply to them and saying, hey, this is my website, I wrote this. And usually they will take off that, that flag. So that should not be a big issue there. All right, so I hope everyone has that. Let me go to the end of the slideshow. Right here is my contact information. If you have any other questions, please feel free to send me an email. You can also call me. What I would also like to hear from you guys, if you'd be kind enough to send me an email on this, is what other subjects do you guys want to hear for your bed and breakfast and inns for future webinars? We've had other ideas about SEO, about how to get the right type of pictures and photography, whatever. I'm open to most things, but if you could just shoot me an email with what you want to hear, I can do some more research on whatever the topic is, and hopefully we can get another webinar. Let me go through a couple more questions. All right, I have another question here that says, will the wiki editors go in and add internal links and references for us when they look at the article? If not, how can we learn more about how to do these wiki features? What I highly recommend doing is going through your article, and if it looks like, here, I'll bring this over. I still have this one up. For example, originally built in 1942, it was home of Charles Dexter Lufkin. First thing I would probably do is go, okay, does Charles Dexter Lufkin have an internal site? I'll come up here to the search button. I'll paste it in. And right there I can tell you it does not. If it did, it would actually have a title right here. But otherwise it says containing. And so I know that doesn't have one there. So we'll come here and go, okay, how about Shelbyville, Illinois? Does it have a page? Whoops. We know that it does already because it's in blue, but just to prove my point, we'll highlight it, and there we'll see it in bold. We'll click on it to verify it's the page that we actually want. Yep, it is the page we want. We can go back to it and make it an internal link. And I would go through, before you even get on Wikipedia, and do this on all of the main points, or the main words, if you will, that actually make sense to link to. Now, you don't have to necessarily link every single word that you possibly can. That just doesn't make sense. Use the ones that relate to the article. Honolulu is good, Minnesota, Wailuku, Bank of Hawaii, these are great. Those are main keywords that you can use and link to other articles. All right, let me go through, see if there's any more. And to answer the question, will they go in and actually create those links for you? They will not. And if you don't have appropriate links, you could get deleted. How does B&B Websites benefit from giving us this information? We like to get to know our customers, and I like to serve our customers. This is actually a free webinar, and hopefully you guys can think of us when you guys do need a new website. There are lots of other companies out there who are giving websites, who create websites for bed and breakfasts, but we have a unique strategy. We have a great way to keep our prices down. So I highly recommend going to our website, bnbwebsites.com, and looking at our services. That's pretty much all we ask for this information. One more thing I wanted to bring up with you guys is if you feel that you can't, or you're having issues with getting your articles submitted, going through what we've just gone through, the company Destination Nexus, which is destinationnexus.com, they are the world's largest encyclopedia for bed and breakfast and inns. So one, if you haven't claimed your inn on Destination Nexus, I highly recommend doing it. It doesn't cost anything. You go in there, you claim it. It has information about your inn. It points to your website. But what you need to do if you do want to get your article submitted, the guys at Destination Nexus said that they would, if the article is written properly, they would be willing to submit the article for you to Wikipedia. All you'll have to do is send them an email. The email is wikipedia@destinationnexus.com. Again, I'll repeat that. It's wikipedia@destinationnexus.com. And Destination Nexus is spelled Destinationnexus.com. Now, in the email, put the article and then ask to get the article submitted on Wikipedia. Because if you just send the article, they will assume you want this history article written for their history page on your inn, because you can have a history page on Destination Nexus. And the other thing that we can do is if your article does not get submitted or doesn't get published on Wikipedia, we have a better chance of actually getting it submitted on a history page on Destination Nexus. So I do recommend checking out Destination Nexus if you haven't already checked them out, and definitely claim your inn on that. All right, let's see here. Looking through the questions again, so give me a moment. All right, I think that should be all of the questions. Again, I thank you guys for coming out to our webinar. If you guys have any questions, please shoot me an email or give me a call. I'm happy to help out wherever I can. Thanks.